Yes, people, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Yash Talks Football. We are going to do something different today, and that is my Premier League team of the season. I'm going to make a 11 using the 4-3-3 formation of players who I believe had a very good season individually and for their team. And let me know in the comment section if you agree, disagree, what would you change, etc., etc. But before we do get into it, big up to everyone who has contributed to me getting to 80 subs. We're now at 81, I'm pretty sure, so big up to everyone who has done that. Next milestone is 90, so let's get that going as quick as possible so we can get this channel growing further and further. Now, how this works, obviously, I've got a website that I've made a team on already, and we're just going to go through what players I think I've had the best season and who I think deserve to be in there from my experience of watching them. So we're going to get straight into it. So for the goalkeeper, and I'm using the Premier League website as a sort of basis so I can remind myself who has been. You've had Addison, Edison, Kaminsky from Luton, Bern Leno of Fulham, Emi Martinez, Neto from Bournemouth, Onana, Pickford, David Raya, and Vicario. And I'm taking out my sort of Arsenal bias, and I'm going to go with Vicario in my team of the season. Now, Tottenham had goal conceding have been fucking horrific, but this guy, this goalkeeper, the saves that I've seen him make, it shouldn't happen. And the fact he's only got 7 clean sheets is not down to him, but it is down to sort of the way Tottenham play with the high line, and sort of their play style, and the fact they never change, and their set pieces as well have not been great either. But Vicario has surprised me this season because I think they were meant to go for David Raya, who instead of went to Arsenal on loan instead. And look, they've only kept 7 clean sheets this season, and the saves that I see this guy make, he should not be making. No goalkeeper should be making, really. But look, fair play to Vicario, and he deserves to be in this team of the season. Right, for the centre backs, we have. Let me get it up. So we've had William Saliba, Murillo, Gabriel, Branthwaite, Joachim Anderson, who by the way is a very good defender and massively underrated. Fabian Schär, Tarkowski, Van der Ven, Virgil van Dijk, and Zabarini. Is that it from Bournemouth? I'm going to start with saying Gabriel is definitely going to be in there. I think to be fair for this team this season, I'm not going to try just cover it with Arsenal players, even though quite a few could get in. But Gabriel, I think, out of the two centre backs for Arsenal, has been the best defender. Saliba is a very good defender, but I think Gabriel, the fact he's matured quite a lot over the past couple of years as well, because I was starting to get tired of him, if I'm being completely honest. But Gabriel this season has been my Arsenal player of the season, and has also been one of my centre backs player of the season. And next to him, I could go Saliba, I could go Virgil van Dijk, although he hasn't had a standout season really. I'm going to go with Mickey van der Ven, and I'm sure many people will use that slip against a couple slips against Newcastle as a stick to beat him with. But this guy and how pivotal he is to Tottenham in that high line, it is unreal. How quick he is, how quick he gets back. How good in the air he is, how dominant he is, especially next to Romero, who's he can be a bit of a liability at times. And I think they even lost quite a few games when I think Van der Ven was out for a couple, and I think he even shifted over to left back as well and scored a cracking goal against Burnley. I think it was like towards the end of the season. So look, he's definitely up there, and look, that is my two centre backs. Gabriel and Van der Ven, and I think you've already seen it already. Yeah, Vardiel is in my left back position. You could put Destiny Udogie there. You could put, let's see, there are some other options here. You could have maybe put even that Alfie Doughty at Fulham. Luton. He's been all right. Diogo Dalot, who's been, in my opinion, Man United's player of the season. But if I'm being completely honest, Vardiel has definitely deserved to be there. Especially he started popping up with goals. Came in to Man City with a big reputation, to be fair. I think 80 mil from Leipzig. Started off all right, wasn't the greatest by all means, but he's definitely matured this season. Sorry, as the season's gone on. So he definitely deserves to be there and has popped up with some pivotal goals, not just in the Premier League but also in the Champions League as well. Right back, you had quite a few options. You had Pedro Porro, even Trent Alexander-Arnold, who I'm not really a fan of personally, but if I'm being completely honest, Ben White deserves to be in there. Now, when he first came into Arsenal, I was not a fan of him, especially when he was playing centre back. I was calling him Ben Shy. But since he got moved to right back, he has been a different quality really. The fact he can cross the ball as well, not something that most Premier League footballers can do really. It's fair play to him because he's definitely proved me wrong, proved quite a few people wrong. Now, in the DM position, I think there is only one option really. You could put Declan Rice in there. I'll talk about that in a bit. But the person who has impressed me and has continued to impress me for a couple of years now is Rodri. You even notice when he's not in the team how bad Man City look, especially this season because they haven't really been performing to their level really. But Rodri, when he's in the team, I think the fact you don't, he's a player, right? You don't notice he's playing really, and that's not a bad thing by any means. It's just when he's there, how stable Man City look in the midfield, how he can read the game really well, is a testament to how good he is. And the fact he barely seems slide into tackle just shows how good his positioning is on the pitch, really. So fair play to Rodri. To play next to him, you've got the players like sort of Pascal Gross, Bruno Guimaraes, Douglas Luiz McAllister, McGinn. You've got quite a few options, but for me, I'm going to go back to an Arsenal player, and especially since he has been playing in that number 8 role, I'm going to go with Declan Rice. Yeah, this guy, especially, I think in a number 6, I don't really rate him that highly. And that's not really his fault because he is a limited footballer. He's not technically the best footballer, but the simple things he can do well. And ever since the likes of Jorginho and Thomas Partey came into this team, you notice when he's in the number 8 role how he can drive up the pitch, use his strength, and that has benefited us in quite a few situations. And I think when he's playing in that number 6 by himself, when Havertz and Martin Odegaard play, we find it hard to break down teams quite a lot. So fair play to Rice. Came with a massive price tag and literally no one's even talking about it. That just shows how well he's done this season. So fair play to Rice. The attacking midfielder role, there's only one person who deserves this. You could put Martin Odegaard there as well, but the person who properly deserves it is Phil Foden. When De Bruyne got injured, people were saying Man City are going to fall off. They won't be the same this season. And even when he's come back, really, De Bruyne hasn't been great. But this guy is different level, honestly. Playing in that number 10 role, in that sort of central midfield role when De Bruyne's not been there, stepping up in the big moments as well, scoring vital goals. Even on the last day of the season, it took 2 minutes for Man City to score. And look, the comparisons against Bukayo Saka and Phil Foden need to stop now. Phil Foden is the much better player and he is a joy to watch for Man City. So fair play to Foden. Now, if you go to the right wing, you've got the likes of Bukayo Saka hasn't had the best season in my opinion. People can say with the amount of goals he scored, but he's not been great. There's been so many games where he's ghosted and hasn't done anything. Got the likes of Mohamed Kudus who could be here. But I think the one that most people should agree with is Cole Palmer. And the fact that Chelsea team have been shit all season and he's been a shining light in that team is testament to how good he is. And a lot of people were saying it was a mistake to let Man City go. Me personally, I think it was right for him to go to show, because I think he didn't have as many minutes at Man City as he wanted to, so Pep let him leave, and he's proved that he can sort of carry his team by himself, and fair play to him. And in my opinion, I don't think he'll be at Chelsea that long. If Chelsea continue the way that they're going at right now, he won't be there for long. Let's just be real. He's way too good for Chelsea in my opinion. So yeah, fair play to Cole Palmer. On the other side, you have quite a few options again. Um, you can put any right wingers on the left anyway. It doesn't really matter. But I'm putting, along with Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon. When this guy came from Everton, I sort of raised an eyebrow because I think he came for what, 40, 50 mil, and he was all right at Everton. He weren't the best, but look, Eddie Howe has got him playing some good football. Him and Isak especially, who could have made it into the season team of the season as well, have been good for Newcastle. Scored some vital goals for them. Looks a threat down that wing. He's not the I wouldn't say he's the best footballer, but the way he surprised me this season has it's been really good, and a fair play to Anthony Gordon. I could have put Mohamed Kudus in either left or right. He's been quality as well. People say Mohamed Salah. For me, not really. I think he's fallen off a cliff massively. I think ever since not last season, the season before that as well, he hasn't been the greatest at all. But yeah, I think he's got maybe max 1 year more at Liverpool, and he's gone, especially with Jurgen Klopp leaving as well. Now up front, look, you've got Arsenal, don't really play with a striker. You've got Son and Richarlison at Tottenham. For me, not really. You've got Isak at Newcastle, Solanke at Bournemouth, Chris Wood at Forest. He's done all right, I guess. But the one who sort of really stood out to me, and that's ever since their manager came in last season, is Ollie Watkins. Emery is, as we can tell, good at getting proper tunes out of strikers, and in my opinion, has done that spot on with Watkins. He's scored almost 20 goals this season. Erling Haaland, people can say you can put him there, although I think by his standards, he's had a pretty poor season. Hasn't really turned up in big games. Missed quite a few chances this season. Ones that come to mind are against Man United. That West Ham game at the start of the season, I think he missed about 3 or 4 sitters in that game, I remember. But yeah, Ollie Watkins has done really well this season and has been pivotal to why Aston Villa have got into the top four this season. Manager of the season, I think it's Pep Guardiola. We haven't, not really a debate really. You could say Iraola for how high he's got Bournemouth. A late addition, Oliver Glasner, and Postecoglou for the football he's been playing at Tottenham. Although second half of the season hasn't been great. People could say Mikel Arteta. Me personally, everyone knows my thoughts on Arteta. I think he bottled it massively, so I would not put him anywhere near there. But that is my team of the season. Let me know what you change in the comment section below. Let me know if you agree with it, disagree. And yeah, make sure you like, sub, and sharing the content around, and I'll see you lot in a bit.